Generalizations are fun. Everyone on the right is a racist, redneck, Bible-thumping moron, and everyone on the left is a social justice warrior feminist, demanding that everything be given to them for free and also preaching that there are at least 76 genders. Was that fun? Now that I've said that, can we avoid those types of comments? Maybe? For the longest time, I made the mistake of thinking that if I didn't have an opinion that fell all the way to the right or all the way to the left, that I shouldn't voice it. I've been silencing that part of me that wants to speak out and rant about things, but that's gonna change now. I think a lot of people think that the political climate is more polarized than it is because of people doing exactly what I've been doing. A moderate opinion isn't one that lacks research or passion, and failing to align with one party or the other is not a good reason to step out of the conversation like I did, and like I see so many others doing. So I've fallen down the rabbit hole of conservative politics over the last year, and more heavily over the past 6 months or so. Until then, as evidenced by all my past videos, I was a staunch liberal. I felt sick to my stomach when Trump got elected, even though I wasn't a huge fan of Hillary. But after he won, I had a choice. I could either continue to hate him and conservative politics as a whole, or I could try my damned hardest to understand how we got a President Trump and why people on the right think the way that they do. I chose the latter, so I flooded myself with videos from conservatives to try to understand how they think and why they think the way that they do, and something kind of amazing happened. My mind did change. And that Steven Crowder reference is partially in thanks to him, as well as others like Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro. I've watched individual talks that they've given, as well as interviews with Dave Rubin, and I agree with a lot of what they have to say, but not everything, and let me make that part abundantly clear. I don't agree with some things that they say, a lot of things that they say. So me saying that I enjoy particular points that they present is not a full endorsement of everything that comes out of their mouth, okay? I've been pretty viciously attacked for vocalizing some of my views that lean right. I'm used to this though. I get a lot of hate for being on YouTube for my beliefs, or particularly for my lack of beliefs. But I've never received the kind of backlash that I have from simply vocalizing some of my opinions that are more conservative. On the other hand, I've had several conversations with people on the right, and they're open and willing to talking to me even though I'm a crazy liberal. I wasn't labeled as a bigot or a phobe of any kind or a fascist. And I think people who use that word don't even really know what it means.
Fascist.
So it seems to me that disagreements with liberal ideas or voicing views that lean more right get such a negative reaction that tends to just shut down a conversation entirely. I think I've grown as a person since then, but I have done that before, where I have reacted and lashed out at somebody because they said something that I found to be as offensive, so I put a label on them. And at the time I wasn't doing it to be argumentative. I really did feel that way. It was so easy for me to just demonize the other side, and as a result, I could put a label on them without feeling bad, and I actually felt virtuous doing so. This behavior is so toxic, and in my opinion, it's how we got President Trump. But like I said, regardless of my liberal leanings, I have found the right to be open to talking with me. The best example of this is Hunter Avallone. We've had some gnarly disagreements in the past, and we've both changed a lot since then, but we do disagree on a lot of things, but we still were able to sit down and have a long conversation. It's all online, I'll leave a link in the description, and we talked about politics. And guess what? It was nothing but civil and respectful. I've also had disagreements with people labeled as social justice warriors in the past before too. An example of this being Riley Dennis. I tried to open a conversation with her about the genuine hope for understanding each other better and was completely shut down. Social and political conversations cannot progress if people behave this way. Even now, I would say that I'm still left-leaning, more moderate in my views, sure, but still left-leaning, and I have been shown more openness, kindness, and respect from the right. If you're a liberal, please consider this. On the scale, say I'm here. Why is it that I get more hate from people closer to me politically? Someone over here seems to be a lot more willing to talk to me, even though I'm ideologically closer to you. This is the problem. Now, these public examples of my interactions just scratch the surface. I can't even begin to tell you how many conservative friends I know that have lost their friends or even close family members over politics. Even with where I stand, I feel like friends have distanced themselves from me. The slightest criticisms of the left have had people in my life, close friends, come up to me and ask, "Why do you love Trump now?" No, I'm not a huge fan, but does it matter? Is the way that I choose to vote or my political leanings in some way a prerequisite to our friendship? Do you know how shallow and empty it feels to realize that it probably is? On the other hand, this crazy liberal over here has made some pretty kick-ass conservative friends that couldn't give less of a shit. Don't get me wrong, they care about politics and we've had some pretty thought-provoking conversations about it, but at the end of the day, we have a drink and it affects our friendship not at all. Take Blair White, for example. She's one of my closest friends out here in LA, and the only problem that politics has ever caused for our friendship are the people that attack us for being friends. Like, why is this liberal friends with that conservative? Or why is that conservative hanging out with that liberal? We get a lot of hate for that, but we don't really care. I'm disappointed. Jaclyn, you support an anti-feminist Trump supporter. Sad.
Who cares?
Like, really? Who cares? I mean, we voted differently, and that means we can't be friends. Like, that's such an annoying thing that people let politics ruin relationships, like friendships, family connections. Like, what are you doing?
I have to rant. I tweeted out recently, and we can put it on the screen. I tweeted out, stop ending friendships over disagreements in politics, basically.
It's a good tweet. I liked it.
It was one of the most neutral, like, nice. I say a lot of inflammatory stuff, but that was a very neutral, nice thing to say. And I was flooded with hate comments like, how could you say that?
I had a Ben Shapiro video playing once when a friend came over and they went off on me. They were mad. Without even asking what I was doing, why I was watching it, I was judged. Do I agree with everything he has to say? No, absolutely not. We disagree on topics like abortion, for example. Jordan Peterson, same thing. I've heard him say things about religion that absolutely make my skin crawl. However, I still enjoy watching Peterson. I still enjoy watching Ben Shapiro. They're actually intelligent people, and even though I don't agree with a lot of what they have to say, they do make some political points that I enjoy listening to. They further my education in the area of politics and makes me understand the entire conversation as a whole better, and for that reason, I will continue watching them. And yes, people on the left say crazy and absurd things too, and one of my biggest problems with the left is that they don't call that shit out. If it's on our team, we're not gonna say anything about it. If you're on the left and you know someone, even someone you look up to and respect, if they say something that absurd, call them out on it. But rarely do you see that. Instead, you get one of three reactions. Defend the statement, put the blame back on the other side by bringing up something awful that they do, or say something along the lines of, not all liberals think that way. Okay, then call it out. Don't get defensive. Just say something, use words. Make it clear that you do not agree. But the other side, shh. Yes, I've seen this on the right too. I've seen people defend Jordan Peterson like their life depended on it. Things he said that are clearly awful are defended by people that just worship every word he says. It's almost cultish and weird. The left is failing in particular because of this. Defending the behaviors of radicals is not acceptable. Refusing to communicate respectfully with the right is not acceptable. It may seem like I'm singling out the left over the right, but that's because it's a place where I'm coming from. I still consider myself liberal, and for that reason, I see what's going on and want to call it out even more for the betterment of the party as a whole. No one wants to take medicine anymore. It may taste like shit, but you'll be better for it later. Once you realize that the person standing opposite you isn't this crazy monster that you created in your head, this wild thing happens where you start to open your mind to new ideas. And I love that I did that. I love that the scientific part of my brain won. I've always tried to be logical and practical and rational, but how can you say that you are those things while simultaneously closing yourself off to hearing the opinions of the other side and really listening? I'm not saying that every liberal watching this video needs to go be a conservative now. I'm just saying that people on both sides need to really start to listen. You don't have to agree with someone to agree to have a conversation. So yeah, I did change my mind. I changed how I view people on the right. Even though I don't consider myself politically aligned with them, I still see them as having valid points, valid concerns, and capable of having intellectual conversations. And because of that change, I feel like I am opening myself up to learning so much more and being so much better at actually interacting with people and being a real part of the political conversation. Because you can't have a real conversation with someone if you insult them right away and if you close yourself off to their points of view. I took a step back and I removed the demonization that I had previously placed on conservatives, and I feel like I'm so much better for it. I will still continue posting content similar to what I have before. For a long time, I have been critical of social justice warriors on the left, and for a long time, I have been critical of conservative views that I don't align with and radicals that hold those views to the extremes. And although I do criticize extremes on both sides, I just want you to know moving forward that I do feel like I am more moderate now than I have ever been. And when I address these particular issues with both sides, I am not at all blanketing the entire side to be that stereotype. Like I said before, if you agree with someone or you align with someone, it's even more important that you call out the problems on your own side. Otherwise, it seems like you're endorsing it. I'm gonna be critical of the right, I'm gonna be critical of the left. Not a whole lot's gonna change, but now you know where I really stand. I'm sure that this video is gonna piss off a lot of people, but I hope that it encourages people to be more willing to talk in a kind way. So for that reason, I would love for you guys to leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this video. I said a lot, so hopefully it opens up some interesting discussions. And hopefully I don't lose any friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.